we should be popping up live any second here. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. That over. That goes about right there. What's up, Jack? Oh, marvelous Monday. Marvelous Monday. Getting all my stuff done. Always ripping for it. Also ripping for Nolan Ryan, Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas. Anybody get my hands on. I'm always ripping for PSA 10s. We got in this one. So, how'd your sale go on the 4 CVC? I was gone, man. I had to go early to go grab food, so I didn't get to look. Oh gosh, man, I remember when I had that done to me. Don Baylor for the set, PSA 10. Man, PSA 10 commons now are going like $100. Anywhere from $70 and up. All depending on their pop level. Insane. Oh, we got a little business card here. Oh, they got a YouTube channel. Don't know what it is. Elite CO3. I guess you just type that in. eBay Cardboard Futures. Show you what I grabbed off of them. Griffey Action, PSA 10, 91 Score Rifleman. I loved this card when I was a kid. Had to get one. Had to get one. No free promos. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before. I just have my phone. What's up, Void? Ah, but this stuff here is good junk wax. There's some big cards. Look at even. I don't know if you guys can see. That's the date it was made right there. 1989, right by Christmas. The thing is with these here, you can't reseal these. I love these packs. Plus, I don't have to wear gloves for it. Oh man, we got a whiteboarder in there too. Come on, Frankie, first pack. It ain't Frankie. I see the first name. Willie Green. Yeah, he is. The Griffey's blue, if I remember right. These were hard, though, I remember as a kid trying to pull that bow out. What's up, Mountain Gorilla? Having some fun opening up some oldies. You're my baby today. That's my baby. I love this card when I was a kid. Oh, do. I gotta finish doing the store up this afternoon. I take a break. Post I was a little late today coming by. Game 4 World Series, Oakland and San Francisco. Oakland takes the sweep of the Battle of the Bay. This was a huge set, too. There's possibilities galore. The good thing is there's no inserts, I don't think, except for that bow, but that was really part of the set. What's up, David? Packing up the orders. I already got mine out today. I had to schedule free pickup. He didn't show up till 3. He's like, 2 people called off today. I said, what do you expect? I remember Sock killed. Wow. Rookie of Pat Austin. Stan Belinda, rookie. Wow. Blankenship. PSA 10, it's like $1.50. I see them things posted all over Raz channels. The Frank Thomas is even going up on this in value. But that, like I said, that's all graded though. Oh, I thought it was a Ricky. Oh, really? Yeah, I had no idea. I just prayed for tens every time. They just got another order out today to PSA, and I had another one where it's going into grading. They're trucking along, man. This weekend they were working. They had people in there working because I had an order update yesterday, um, which was really crazy, to be honest. Under 30 days actually down to, I think it's an error. It says 20, but I think it's supposed to be 30. Or that, or they really caught up. Wait, oh, these were the dream teams from back then. That's what those were. Where'd be another dream teamer? I forgot about these. Those are the dream teams. There's a Ricky. He's in red. Man, just a little bit on that corner up here. Marquise Grissom. I don't even know if he holds any value anymore. I remember trading him when we were kids. Mike Stanton. Not the Giancarlo Mike Stanton, no. Charles Nagy. All right, girl. I'm just hunting the good stuff. Gotta take a break from doing pictures all day. Past 2 days, really. What's up, Supercard Mason? See if we can find that bow. Ricky Jordan. That dude, man, I remember trading Ricky Jordans for Michael Jordans back in the day. Pretty nice looking Barry Bonds. Might be SGC level. Bobby Thigpen Dream Team. Oh, I have autos of that dude. I don't know why. Well, I'm here. Let me at least get Barry into a case. Because I think I might send that to SGC. It's not PSA worthy because it won't really do much for me, but actually I might have to look him up. Oh, way over here. Gotta stretch. It's amazing what a PSA 10 goes for now from 90s back. Stuff just shot up every which way. I think this box was like $10 too. Gotta find something that I can really try to recomp money. There we go. Kevin Bass, Paul Gibson, Mark Davis. What's this? Wade Boggs. Highlight. Wow, that's our Ace card 704 in a set. Daryl Strawberry, Eric Davis. Ah, Griffey Sr. I sit there, I'm like, I thought Griffey was blue. Oh, it is 150 for the PS. That's what I thought it was. I remember I'm still buying them this weekend at 15 per. Probably need to grab my hidden box. Oh, I need the hidden box. Is that one? Nope. Where'd I stick that at? Oh, up there. Nope. Hey, look out, Pug. Thought I had an empty box. Looking to gather in here. Not empty. Not empty. Close enough to being a box to stick these into for time being. Okay, cat, gotta go. See, the dog knows. She's like, I'm out. I didn't play on me. Mo Vaughn, rookie. Man, that corner done it in. It was bad about this year, man. Corners. I'm going to try a trick here. Let's see. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not. Where'd my scissors go? See if this will kind of help it out. Ooh. Ooh, that was perfect, too. But who's on back? We don't need the MVP card. Will Clark Dream Team. Conseco. David Justice rookie. There's the Griffey, way off center though. Somebody may want it in the store though. Well, I cannot get it in the sleeve. There we go. Look at Davy boy. Looks good for the store. Now I got the new method down here. So what's everybody been up to on this fabulous Monday that has hoarded mail for people? What doing these is like surgery packs now. Seeing if it's me at the corners or not. Nope, it's not me. It's the packs. I knew it. Mattingly. This is like one of the very first years they started doing a score. It was a better quality picture, I recall. Yeah, I'm going to say probably not much. I mean, you're going to spend 15, well, unless you do a super bulk order, you're still going to spend like $12 to get it graded. They probably had those graded a while back. Ooh, there's a Nolan. Pretty Nolan for me. I'll sleeve it till I look at it later. Do my opinion of it then. Man, I am not winning on these sleeves. I should have brought out my grading sleeves. That way I wouldn't just sit there and play with corners on stuff. Man, I don't like that. Oh, I know I have vintage sleeves somewhere, but there we go. Just some of them are not playing right. It's hot out where Gorilla's at. I just want to see the bow. I haven't seen one up close in years. Now, I would show you how I'm opening these packs, but yeah, I'm off to the side so I don't hit the camera off the thing. Come here. Some good guys. I mean, there's some good players from back in the day. Kiki Jones, the man I hated the most pulling out of packs as a kid. What's in the back of you here? Oh, there we go. I got a ton of Tatis rookies coming back. I got two that are graded right now behind me. It's the Series 2 rookies. PSA 10s. Not moving them, though. I think I got one or two in this order coming up. I told myself that if I had made another PSA 10, I'd probably let it go. I got I think it's a green Findish and a purple Bowman Chrome. A rookie him it's out too. Not autos, of course. I only got two packages left out. Well, a couple once people start getting them in the system. Friday night's gonna be fun. We're gonna open up some soccer and watch me butcher some names. Got some absolute baseball, which is a very, very expensive product this year for being the first year it's out. Um, and a college, or I should say, Collegiate Chronicles football, and I'll have probably two hobby boxes of Series 2 baseball as I chase to get my own. There we go. Louis Roberts. He's always going to be Louis to me now. Mike Scott, Dream Team. Billy Spears had an error, and I don't remember what it was. Was it it's either third base or second base? Let me look. Shortstop. I think there were errors on this card that had third base on it back in the day. I'll let you know if I catch one. Hey, yes, my blanket is done for the bed. I was wondering if I was going to hear the tumbler. Because you know how you don't have stuff that doesn't get level when it's doing the spin cycle? I was sitting there, I'm like, you know, it's going to do it to me today. Now I sat there repacking that thing perfect. And I was like, it's going to happen no matter what. What's up, Magnus? How you doing? How is Norway? Get you a wrench too, since I'm just playing around here, opening up some old stuff. Well, old to a lot of people. To us, it's like high school stuff, junior high. Tony Gwynn Dream Team. I'm going to have the whole set of Dream Teams maybe in this. 10 p.m. Holy cow. Yeah, I was wondering about that. But it's been picking up everywhere just because, well, out here for 4th of July weekend, you know. There's a Larry Walker rookie. I would have been 13 when this dropped. According to the date in the box, I'd have been 13. Yeah, I got a Griffey. It's centered. Little white in the bottom one of the corners, too. There we go. Nolan, Dave Justice, rookie. Real nice looking bonds. Got to hunt the good stuff to always get value back. There's the bow. I can tell it right now. Woohoo! And it's centered pretty good, too. Oh, yeah. Bow nose. Definitely going to be a PSA. Please, at least give me an 8 onto it. Man, I do not like these sleeves. I need to go grab my vintage ones out. 2 in there for a PSA grading. I'll see you later, Parker. It depends on what you need. I remember you talking about it. If not, I can get them. I remember you were talking like Bowman Chrome and some other stuff too. But yeah, I could always get stuff. It's just going to depend on the distributor itself if they got which one I got to go through. I mean, GTS usually has everything. There's another berry, but that one's off centered. Tony Gwynn, pretty nice looking. 2019 Bowman Draft Jumbo. Bowman Hobby, I just have full cases of. I don't know what it's going to be out on release day. It'll still be lower than most retailers, but I'll have to look. 2020 Finest, I know they have, and 2019 Bowman Draft Jumbo, I'll have to check. I'm not too sure on that one. Because I'm thinking about just not even opening my Bowman Chrome this year. I'm thinking about just selling them by case. Well, I'll probably open HTA and do a break, but the hobby probably gets sold outright. Now, if by chance he tells me I'm allocated like 2 cases, 3 boxes, then yeah, I'd have loose boxes. They haven't really done allocations on Bowman yet, though, for some odd reason. And it's probably due to the fact that what happened with Bowman this year, where 2 or 3 weeks out they cut everybody due to the fact that he's being overproduced on retail this year. But I'll take a look and see what they got. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I could get Finest. Finest is easy because there's the mini boxes inside there. Yeah, I'll take a look, see what he has. I have. Oh, you said jumbo, not the super jumbo. He probably has 2019 jumbo. I was thinking. I always get draft mixed up because they have the word jumbo in it, and there's actually the jumbo and super jumbo. I was going to say super jumbo might be hard to come by, but yeah, I'll definitely I'll take a look, see what they got. Yeah, John Olerud. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Another Marquise Grissom. Do you know how many packs of each you need? Was it 10? It's probably about right. No, I could always pick up a box, and if you want some packs out of it, and I'll just open the rest. There's no biggie on that. I'm always looking to open stuff. I just won't open them until after you do your giveaway. Just for the fact I don't want people like, oh, he already pulled a one auto, there's only two left, or whatever it may be. Bernie Williams, rookie for the Yanks. Yeah, if I remember, I think you said you needed 10 packs of everything. Finest will be easy to do. I can't remember what I've even paid for that last Finest box. I'd have to go back and look. Ah, I got you. Okay. That's a cool Ricky Henderson there. Eric Anthony, another one I used to trade for Michael Jordan's. Everybody was about him and Tino Martinez. I'll ask my buddy Jacob because he usually does a lot of mixers too. He might even have it to where um, me and him could do a little flopping around. Be the Frank Thomas this time. Of course not. Mr. Blosser. Mark McGuire, pretty badly off centered. Another Olerud. Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll email you. I know you said you'll be back like in a week, so I'll take a gander at what they got. Yeah, I try not to buy any boxes off of eBay anymore. Too many people start opening cases, and once they get that big hit, they stop, and the rest of it's crud. Now, my box, as most people know, I only get if I have them on eBay, I only got allocated that amount. I I don't buy them. Why don't we get a second bow? Is that Chuck Knobloch? Oh, it is Chucky. Forgot about him being in this. Was Sandberg was there? I thought it was Billy Spears was an error in this too. Kevin Moss. Give Select a little bit of time; it'll come down. Once Panini releases a product, there's a set MSRP that they have to sell it at, and after 90 days, it drops. Especially for baseball. Now, basketball, no. Certain football, yes, will drop. I have to remember what it looks like. I remember I had these as a kid with the errors. I remember Billy Spears had an error, and I thought his was the shortstop third base thing, but it's been a while since I looked at him. There's a Sandberg Dream Team. Todd Zill. Transfer these over. Very true there. Jose Lean used to be called Chico back in the day in Pittsburgh. Candlestick Out. I remember that there from back in the day. Man, I haven't opened these up in probably decades now I think about it. Now we're starting to get back into the cycle here at the Griffey Senior. Huh? Haven't seen Frankie though. Oh yeah, Bowman Sapphire very hard to get a hold of. Even on the resale right now, it's way high. Um, Occasionally I see them pop up on Razzes, but I have not gotten into any yet. I mean, I know they have an auto per, and the Dominguez regular Sapphire is about what 350, 400 probably still around there. I don't know if it's settled in yet. Those are different names. Man, PSA keeps going the way they're going, getting my stuff logged in like they are. I might start being happy again with them. I'll never forget years ago getting a note back. You know how they send you the receipt back? Grader had a note in there for me saying very well packaged and so organized. Billy Ripken. Kurt Schilling calling it his rookie. little off center though. I know a lot of people might want these in the store, but toss them in probably just to have some other stuff different in there. No, I seen somebody just getting something out of there. Popped on my phone. Yeah, that's a little bit too much, 400. Because if you have to then basically hit a Dominguez, a good color in the box, and your autos got to be superb. And from what I watched, people open, they have not been too stellar boxes. And every Bobby Witt I've seen in that Bowman Sapphire too has been so off center. I don't think I've seen one centered at all. I've probably seen at least probably about 20 of them pulled. Really surprised now because if that man were that bad, yeah, Witt would help out. Even Pawson, Earl Cunningham. There's a Dion rookie. Oh, really? Dang, he's pretty low. Honestly, if I was to invest in anybody out of that class, I would take my money and try to get Pawson. Dominguez and Witt are just a little bit too pricey for me to even chase after. I remember it was Bowman Chrome or Bowman Draft. Austin Hayes came out into, and everybody was scarfing him up, and he just plummeted. Same with Francisco Mejia. I was chasing him that year. I think I was Bowman Chrome. I had an orange, two golds, I think a purple and a blue, or purple and green. Graded them. I had two BGS 10s, and I sold them. I'm glad I sold them, didn't hold them. What's up, ABCs? Being hunting for some stuff in this. Got the bow already. Haven't seen Frankie Boy yet. Still won't be seeing Frankie Boy. Gore. Yeah, for $10 a box on this, and couldn't really pass up on it. Thing was, like I said, was score. Can't resell the packs. Now, I'm sure people have tried, but there we go. Still not him. Oh wow, Ben McDonald. Name of the ages there. Oop. Oh yeah, they have. Robin Ventura, rookie. Remember when he fought Nolan Ryan? What we got left in here? Like three. Who would ever thought all this stuff would go up in value like this? Now, these packs are like bowed. Look how bad that is. And that's a Sosa, too. I don't even know if a top loader will even help that. They will do that. If you get a breakers thingy, they will do that. Trust me, because they're gonna make sure you have their mat out there and all that stuff. Yeah, sometimes you put in a top loader, it'll work its magic, but I don't think on that. See, like this pack's good. It was just that one side. Huh. It's kind of weird I haven't emailed you back yet. I don't know, I've had my account for like 3 years. I thought they gave it to me the same day, but I can't remember now. What do you know? Mr. Griffey on the back again. It's probably why these Griffies are so freaking expensive because they're the back card. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah. You can see where that card was at, the indention. That sucks. The MVP was at. Well, I know a lot of people now. Dave Justice rookie again. There's another Griffey centered. I know a lot of times. Well, I know BCW checked on me a long time ago. Like after I did the Breakers package, um, what I would do a lot of times was I was tagging them in my videos when I'd upload them, and then you share them on Twitter and stuff. They kind of let me alone after that. But they always want to see their little logos and stuff onto it. Could be. There's at least 5 or 6 cards you can grade in it. I mean, Griffey's. Well, there they are. Nolan Ryan, look, these are mine for my own thing. Justice rookie there was actually pretty well centered. I gotta look it up at it. But the Griffey's off center, and that one had a ding corner at the bottom. But I mean, those will get graded there for sure. I just kept a bunch on the side here. The Sosa's, man, I think there's lines in it for being bowed. Dion rookie, Schilling, Knobloch at rookie, Bernie. These are all the dream teams. Tony Gwynn looked real nice. Mo Vaughn. There's a Henderson. If you can't get a Frank, at least get the bow. Throat was dry. There we go. I'm so loving this card. Man. Loving it. Almost Mick loving it. That reminds me, I need to email BCW. I'm running out of their little thingies here for point gauges. Let them know that I keep sending them out in the packages. I have a. Now, where the heck did it go? Oh, there it is. Ooh. The 91 Micro said here, I've been tempted to bust this open. For some reason, I thought they had Micro Gold cards, but I'm guessing that was later on. But I'm really tempted to open this. I bought this a long time ago for $3. And then they were shooting up on eBay like $15 a pop, and I tried selling them, but I'm thinking about opening that. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought they were off Friday. BCW. I'm almost positive they were. I had a couple emails from places that said they were celebrating their Fourth of July holiday on Friday. That's the national day they were doing for the Federal Observed Day. Was it? I know they're really off centered, but if you could find one, I mean, there's other cards in there besides a chipper too that I would actually try to grade. I mean, Nolan probably, Ricky, Griffey. Oh yeah, I think they send you like 10 of these dang things. I usually go through like two a year, maybe three depending on the boxes that I cut up into. The good thing is if you send those out to like PSA, they're heavy on the centering the front, not the back, where BGS is front and back heavy. I still haven't used my eBay bucks. I gotta use it. I haven't decided what I want to get with it. Vector. I sent him. I think it was the .ai. Let me look. I don't even remember what I sent him because I had all the files when I had mine made up. They sent me. I sent him a .ai and a PDF of mine in case he couldn't open up the .ai. I guess that's the vector format. There's like whenever they make the logos, there's like different files that get associated to make it into a PNG or a JPEG. And I don't know when they made mine up, they had me like a .svc, .ai. There was a bunch of them. So, but yeah, I had one as I sent it to him as a PDF too because I think he said he could do a PDF. Because when I had my display made up too, the guy when I told him what I wanted to get trying to put onto it, he did it for me at the tablecloth place. I know he sent me a bunch of files too, and I just keep them all in one big old folder. The mat will come quick. It comes out of like either Oregon or Washington, but when he sent it, I think it took him like 24, 48 hours, and it was already out in the mail. I mean, I even got a second one underneath here because I wanted to get another one because I go through mats like crazy. That's why I always try to keep the knife and stuff out so they have it on there. What's up, Jeff? Man, I meant to come watch your stream on Sunday, but I was done tired. I ain't gonna lie. Man, that smoke from 4th of July was in my eyes all day yesterday, just burning. I was having a hard time just reading the screen. $90 score I'll say for $10 was not a bust. Yeah, the dog went. I took her with me to go watch fireworks, and she's always good at home, but out there, man, she was just not herself. So by the time I got home, it was like 11 p.m. It took her 2 to fall asleep and eat and drink. Woke up in the morning, and I just couldn't get it back into the groove. I think the only trivia questions I'm even good at with your stuff is wrestling. Ah, there you go. Vector files work better with Photoshop. You know what? That I remember him saying something about that. It was with the resolution quality. Man, how is that at Six Flags? You have to wear a mask out there too? I'd be kind of crazy on the rides wearing a mask. They were talking about opening up. I don't even know if they did Kentucky Kingdom, but they were saying the lines, you were going to be separated longer, and then something about they'd have to wipe down the handle or the rails and stuff people touch. It was insane. You know, you played that clip. Was it Fools Rush In or something like that? They had like Matt Perry and I think it's like Selma Hayek or whatever her name was in it. I just seen that on TV today. Hey, have fun over there, Magnus. Have a good night. We'll see you whenever you get back. One day I am going to venture out that way once all this disease stuff slows down. Yeah, I mean, I just got hit with the card show on the next month on the 15th. I'm still waiting on the city to give me the proper what they're trying to do for demographics for it, I guess you could say. And I talked to the lady that runs the center, and I said, "Listen, I got 100 disposable masks that I'm bringing for people who don't have them, and once I run out, sorry, they'll have to be turned away." But hand sanitizer, I'm keeping 6 feet in between the dealers, so it's going to be a little bit more opened up. But they're supposed to not have more than, I guess you could say, either a person or family per table, since the tables are 6 footers. So it'll be quite interesting for sure. And for once, I'm not bringing my cheat boxes with me because everybody be putting their hands and stuff all over the cases and that. And I don't want to change out team bags when I get home of like 3,000 cards. So I think I'm just going to end up doing wax boxes and the giveaway stand along with my regular display cases. Less for people to put their hands on. No kidding. Thermal imaging tents. Wow. I mean, you have to get there early because I know, like, if you're dehydrated and you're out there, your body temperature is going to rise. That's easy to get a temp of 100 plus. I just remember being in Georgia, man. We used to have to monitor guys all the time, out training and stuff. Used to have, what was it, the regular thermometer, dry bulb, wet bulb. I won't tell you how many times I had to use IVs and they weren't going into a vein, we'll say. Huh, that's really crazy. You love liking doorknobs. I like digging underneath the school bus seat and getting bubble gum. Oh gosh, hand sanitizer to your tongue. Oh, they had a thing come out over the 4th of July about people using hand sanitizer and going to light fireworks. I guess it was catching their hands on fire. And I'm like, that's insane. I know it does. We've used it before to start fires, but I was like, wow. Dip your tongue in some moonshine. That'll really get going too. So, how many people actually used to grab the bubble gum underneath the bus seat and chew it for money? As little dares, people would pay you like $2 to $5 to chew that bubble gum. I'm telling you, we used to use that. Um, Man, I will never forget being a kid, and my buddy wanted to make a flamethrower. He had one of those aerosol hairsprays of his mom. Yeah, it worked, but we're just gonna say the can luckily was towards the end when it blew up. Not the smartest thing he did. We used to have kids that would do anything for a couple dollars, man. It was sad. But one time there was a French fry we put on the ground in the cafeteria by the door. You go outside, it was covered in ants, and a kid ate it for $5. Oh man, I'll never forget that aerosol can because when he let it go, like the flame was still there, and luckily he threw it. He's like, it's still on fire, and threw it. And we were down in a creek down where we lived at, and as he threw it, I mean, it was probably only 3, 4 feet from it blew. I mean, we did some crazy stuff as kids. We used to go out to the lake, take M80s and tape them to a rock, throw them in the hole, over by the dam, and the fish would float. So you'd catch trout, bass, whatever you want out of it. I remember potato launchers too. Man, we ended up being real cool. We went to the flea market. We found quarter and half sticks, right? So my buddy's like, "Oh, let's go out to Mammoth Lake." So like, all right, we go out there, and we were messing around because when you throw like the M80 into the water with a rock, it sinks, and it's just like this big like flash a light in the water, and you see all these bubbles come up. So he does the quarter stick, throws it in, and I remember seeing all these bluegill and sunfish and stuff pop up. And the dam at that time frame was just lightly spilling over because it was in the summer, of course. So there was like this little island peninsula, and I'm like, all right, I'm going down and go throw the carp rod out because I like fishing for carp. They put a good fight up out there, that and catfish, even though I wouldn't eat them. Sitting there, and I felt the ground of the island shake. He took two of the half sticks, taped them onto this big rock, lit them, and threw it in there. Man, they're lucky there was nobody at the lake that day. You know, a lot of kids don't. I mean, you got to think too. It's a different era now. I was talking before about when I was a kid. We used to ride our bikes to the pool, and I mean, it was like an hour and a half bike ride to the city pool. And we'd take all these back roads. You know, about 9:30 in the morning, we'd all meet up, start riding out there with our backpacks on and stuff like that. Get there, you chain your bikes up, and usually somebody's mom or dad had a truck come pick us up, you know, after work around 5 p.m. Load the bike, throw the bikes in the back of the truck, go home. You can't do that no more. Yeah. I forgot about the Vaseline in them. Yeah. You can buy them big potato guns now, man. Gosh. They have those like huge CO2 cartridges now. I mean, those things are like bazookas from back compared to what we had back in the day. Now, yeah, we used to ride our bikes everywhere. I remember walking like I bet you that was about 8 miles to the lake. We just would walk, and then we just wait for one of our parents to pick us up on their way from work, throw all the rods in the vehicle, and come back. Oh yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we used to walk to a little town above us, you know, up on the hill. We used to call it. You know, we'd go get a little candy store was up there. There was a movie little place you can get the old VCR tapes, get a lunch. You know, they would make down there. You had the local pizza shop and all that. I mean, now you can't even let your kids do that stuff because you're afraid they're going to go out and get abducted and all kind of other stuff. Yeah, we used to just take all the back roads to that swimming pool. But usually it would be my mom would pick us up or dad because my mom worked at the bank downtown and my dad was usually working in somebody's house. So he would just be like, I'll be there at this time. And he'd be there right around that time, usually around 6 p.m. to grab us from the pool. I mean, I wish Brian was in here. He would tell you. I mean, when we were kids, man, we had to stay outside to play, and if it was raining, we would go on somebody's porch and play Uno or whatever, maybe poker, blackjack, whatever we were doing. You weren't inside a house during the summer, and if you wanted to play video games, somebody brought their TV out in the porch and you played video games that way. Yeah, we used to ride everywhere bikes. I haven't rode a bicycle in years. I got one in the garage. I've been meaning to go out and ride again, but just never really. Yeah, we were pretty much in the country too, where I was at. I mean, we had a lot of farmlands out by us, so like to go into Latrobe, you had to probably take about an hour bike ride to get to the outskirts of the city limits. And I can just remember we used to go all the way out to the school, then it was still another like 30, 40 minutes from there through the back roads and stuff. This thing's still going? Might be my other computer updating or something. Yeah, I see my hand now. It's because I got all this other crud open on my computer. Yeah, we never really had a lot to do out where I was at. I mean, we used to just play baseball, basketball, football, go fishing. We build dams in a creek and stuff like that. Mostly it'd be just hanging out to where we could go. Usually somebody's house. Remember, we used to play tag with a freaking tennis ball. I don't know what we call. I can't remember what we called it, man. You got paid with that tennis ball, man. Woo! I remember having bottle rocket wars. Let's see what else. Oh, there's the stack here. Just some football for the store, really. CBC is California, I believe. Yeah, California. Heck, I think our neighborhood, I we had a swimming pool. A girl in Shantytown had one. One kid down below me. I think there was only three swimming pool, no, four swimming pools in our whole town. Yep. I remember because when my parents put that swimming pool in, they thought it would be just better to stay at home and not pay like the $25 for the year to go to the town pool and all that stuff. But I don't think our parents realized that we were just going down there to check girls out at that time. Plus, like on a weekend, my mom would always have people over, and it was no fun having a bunch of kids in the pool. I've been to LA. Well, if you don't count flying in, I've been to LA twice. And one time I had to stay for, I guess you could say it was kind of like 2 nights there because I had to pick my car up from Pasadena. That's where they shipped it in from Hawaii. Because I flew in and my flight was somehow getting in there. I can't know, it was my luggage. My luggage came on a later flight for some reason, so I couldn't pick my car up today. I had to go the next day, and I decided to stay 2 nights out there. Then I made my way to Vegas the next day. Oh heck no! My cars never took a back seat to the girls, man. I used to sell them. That's how I went on dates, bought beer. Heck, I remember selling an '86 Donruss Canseco, '86 Donruss McGriff, two Brett Hall rookies that were tops. There was something else in there too. A Hank Aaron hologram from Upper Deck, and a Sandberg tops rookie for like 350 to a kid. That paid for my prom. I do not. How dare you? Here we go. Those containers that are coming in from China, they really don't have Funko Pops in them. We used to sit there and play poker for cards, pool, darts. There's one kid, man. He was a farmer, and he got paid like a good chunk of money per month by the government for, I guess, like being 4-H farming. His dad paid him, so he would lose his cards from us and spend a couple $100 getting them back all the time. Oh, I kept when I went in the army. I kept my Nolan Ryan collection, my Jordan collection of what was left, and that was only because at the time frame my mom threw my and of course on the first page had to be the Jordan rookies, but the first like 3 or 4 pages got all jacked up. I replaced some of them, but not all of them. And then I had a bunch of like '70s cards that I kept, but I did sell the rest of my stuff at that time frame. And then when I was in Hawaii, about 2 years in, that's when a guy I met. He started going into like Pokemon and stuff, and we just started going to all these flea markets out there, just buying up everything. But I will tell you what, my worst fear was shipping my baseball cards from Hawaii to Pennsylvania. Oh man. And I did it myself. I didn't trust the army to do it, so I boxed all this stuff up. And I'm talking about like I put them like surrounded in trash bags and everything to waterproof them the best I could, and sent them to my dad's house. And luckily it was during the winter time too, so like the old Top's finest didn't bake and stuff in the protectors. Man, if I would have known even the '90s stuff now that I had, and what's bad is I had a ton of like '76 through '78 tops baseball, and everything from like probably about '84 tops through '94 ish. And I'm talking about all those like insert cards, and stuff like that in boxes in my dad's house. He didn't pay his bills, went up for sheriff's sale, and no idea who has those now. But whoever has those has a fortune. a big fortune because I mean, like these Griffey riflemen's and stuff like that was all through it, and they're all cased. I remember going through my football cards, and I wasn't a real big football person when I was a kid, and finding Bo Jackson football rookies. I think that was like 88 tops, 87 tops, something like that. 88, I think. Thought you said I popped in your stream for a minute too. I thought you said that they all went swimming or something. They're already back, or is it that long ago since you went live? Heck, I got 89 Fleer sets laying in there. I might pop just looking for the Griffey. Depends on how my 80s stuff grades though right now. Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, I know it was this afternoon because I had it on until the postman came about 15 minutes into your thing, and I went upstairs and just never came back down. An hour to the pool? Wow. You ain't gonna find it in a set. Hey, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, I don't think any of the sets had the errors in it though. And the wax boxes have if you could find what case they're from, there's a certain number on the case to know it's an error case. I mean, I lucked out. I ended up buying a box somewhere along the line. It was an error box because I pulled two Ripkins, the Johnson, and I think a Griffey out of that box. But I'm almost positive the sets didn't have error cards in it. I think the PSA 10s of that stuff's going for like $1.50 now for that Ripkin with the FF on it. Then there's a scribbled version. I think a black box and a white box. I think there's four versions of it, if I remember right. Because I know the Marlboro, you have a totally blacked out one, then you have the sign, and I think there's one that's either like a red or greenish background to it. But I think the Ripken with the white scribble, yeah, that's what I was saying. I think the white scribble is the rarest of them all. And if I'm right, I think it's either the green or a red background for the Marlboro for the Johnson is the rarest. No, actually, the FF's kind of up in there for a rarity. It's just a lot of people have been selling them recently. I mean, you got to think back in the day, there wasn't the age of the internet, so stuff was harder to find and get a hold of. So a lot of like the Ripken errors, remember like 89, I think 89 per deck had a Del Murphy reverse negative. It was like $1.50 for that card if you had it. Sheffield had the shortstop, it was upside down. There was a Nolan Ryan card. I think it's either 89 or 90. It was a high series where the 300 win little diagonal piece wasn't on it. The whole writing. Oh, you'll know when you see it. You can't miss it. That Marlboro sign, you can. I don't have mine's out being graded. I'd show you. You can't miss it. If it's blacked out, yeah, it's not it. If you pull the Johnson out of a box with a Ripken into it, though, that has the FF on, yeah, you got the right Johnson for sure. There was something else that was in '89 too, and I can't remember now what it was. I remember '89 Don Russ had a ton of errors into it. They're just not the Juan Gonzalez reverse negative. There was something with the All Stars in '90 Don Russ too, but they didn't catch it until like the fourth release, so it's plentiful with those. And '90 Don Russ had so many errors. The Nolan Ryan strikeout king and the wins one had different reverse backs to each of them. '90 Don Russ had just so many errors. But I do remember them Sandberg errors now because I had two of them. And I remember selling them. They were like $25 a card back in the day. Or we used to sit up at the flea market trying to sell baseball cards. And you'd always have the older guys come around trying to, oh, yeah, that's only a $10 card. Okay. Beckett said otherwise. Good luck finding it for $10. Take care. Have a good day. One Bo. That was it. No Franks. That Barry I'm going to look at. I might send it off. I got to see what they're selling at. But two Nolans for me. Griffey's were off centered. I had two of those. Some Dave Justice rookies. I was just really bow hunting and Thomas hunting mostly out of it all. Or if I could find a nice Griffey. Oh, Bo looks sweet. Hold on. Those. Well, looks pretty good. Might come back a 9. There we go. Now focused in. And back don't really matter too much to PSA. So, might come back a 9. It'll go off. I just sent a stack out today to PSA. I'll give it 2 weeks and I'll gather some more up. I sent a bunch of Hyura tops traded in, some Lucas, Treys, Giannis, and LeBrons. I know 3 of my 4 orders are sitting at the grading stage now, which makes me happy. I should have 2 of them back by the end of the month. I don't know. I happened to look at PSA this morning, and it says their regular submission of 30 days down to 20 days, but I think that's an error because it was sitting at 35 last week. I think they meant to put in 30 and not 20. Otherwise, they were. I know they worked yesterday because that's when one of my orders updated into the system. So they are working weekends at PSA. SGC told me they are 2 months behind. I don't know. It was a mixture between mine and Brian's stuff. I want to say like between 25 and 30. BGS is backed up big time. Unless you're saying 1 or 2 day, ain't worth it. 5 day, I think they said is coming out around 7 business days average. 10 days looking at 30 days. 30 days could take 2 months plus. And a lot of the bulk submitter guys that have been doing it have cut a lot of their stuff off. I've seen 20-day submissions have gone away for those guys and 45 days. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to spend $10 a card for SGC and wait 2 to 3 months, I might as well just spend the money and get it PSA'd. I have a total of 5 orders at SGC. If you count PSA today, 4 logged in, 3 not logged in, 1 on its way. So 8 there. And then I have one at BGS. It's a 30 day, which I'm probably not going to see probably until September, I guess. You got to pay attention when you do that, Jack, because there's different times for all that stuff. I just happened to notice that today when I was going through their stuff. The autograph authentication is longer than the regular submission. And what I did is I talked to somebody on the phone so they knew what I was doing. He told me on the outside of my box to put economy 30-day level, and then inside with my envelopes just mark which ones I wanted for which level. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing a bulk order for a while because they've had 2 bulk orders since the beginning of the year for me, and they're not even logged in yet. I know what they told me to, and that's why I was like not mad because they said they would dig through and send them back if I wanted them. I'm like, nah, just keep them. They ain't nothing big. They're not gonna if they grade out PSA 10, they're like $70 cards. But I wanted to make sure that what I sent in and they got in is still at the old pricing too, and it was. As long as the ship date on the package was prior to it, you're good. Because now I think the bulk order is like $15 a card for the newer stuff, and then it's like 12 for non-modern day errors something something. I'd have to look at them all again. I just skip the whole thing, just go straight to economy and pay the $20. But most of my cards I sent in are also over $100 value too, so they can't go bulk order. Because if they grade out, then I just get upcharged anyhow. I'm having a funny feeling though. This last order, I'm gonna be upcharged, which is never a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. A lot of times, like my Bowman Chromes and stuff, I'll send them in at the lowest level because if they get a 9, just for an example, I'm gonna end up cracking and probably send to BGS with the hopes of a 9.5. But I don't want to pay them $50 or more just to grade something and give me a 9 back. I'd rather spend 20 and then get upcharged an additional $30. College expensive. I will say that. I lucked out and had mine wrote off. Otherwise, I would have owed like 90 grand to college with my master's. Oh man, it was stupid crazy. And I only went to Troy University, and you got to figure that that was expensive. I mean, it was like 90,000 I had in student debt for a master's. No, if you don't have scholarships and stuff and can get grants, because you, if I would have had to pay that off. Now, granted, I had a plan. I was going to sell a whole lot of my personal collection to pay it off. But I mean, if you don't have stuff like that to pay off that, I think the student loan bill a month was something like $700 a month. I forget the amount of years and stuff on to. It was crazy. I was like, oh man, that's more than a car payment. Oh, I already know that price out there. That's expensive. Yeah, there's no way I would ever even have done it. All for a piece of paper to say I'm certified as a master's in human resources management. Makes no sense. Because honestly, they're going to take somebody with experience over my little piece of paper. I'm just lucked out with the job I got. The master's degree didn't matter what it would be in, just get you a little bump. Jack, I'll tell you, if I could ever redo anything, if I would have been smart at a young age, I would have went into like computer programming to make software and stuff like that because those people make so much money a year. And just imagine with the experience you get, you could sit there and make your own apps and programs and people pay you for them. I mean, you could build people's websites if you know coding. I'd have done that. I really would have. The other route I'd have looked at had been medical field, and I would have put the years in to do like being a doctor, but I would have been more like trying to look at like a chiropractor or something to where, I could have ran my own office and not have to spend a ton of money. Yeah, I have to give up a lot of my certs just because I do it on the side. Like all my IRS certs, I got to keep up with every freaking year, and that's just for my own personal stuff. And then the Microsoft, I got to keep up with those every year. But I've never taken the APHR, PHR, SHR, and all that. I'm kind of content where I'm at with what I make, and I think I'm on the downhill to where I'm just looking at like trying to retire as soon as this child support's done here in 11 years and 1 month. For the price you got to pay for that college, Jack, I hope it's six figures a year. Whew. And the best is if you could find somewhere along the way with one of your jobs that gives you money towards like a loan repayment or something. Oh, that's good. You know, I was almost going to go after my PhD just so I could have the doctorate title in my name. But when I started looking at some of the areas to go into in the schooling, I mean, I started my associate's degree when I was a drill sergeant, so that would have been 2007 through 9. Finished it and started my bachelor's, and I didn't start college again. And it was only because of deployments and everything where I was at until I came out here to Kentucky, and I had about 2 years till I retired. And I knocked out my bachelor's, and then I retired and started my master's degree, and I did that in about a year and a half. But I overloaded myself in the master's degree. Oh, that's always a good idea there. There was a lady trying to get me to become a teacher out here, and they had something. I forget what it was, something like when you get out of the military and you have a degree. There's some program you can walk into teaching. You just got to pass like a state test or something. And they wanted me to either teach like math, English, or science. And I'm like, none of those subjects really appealed to me because they're hurting for them. And I was like, if I started hearing like some people I knew that were teachers out here, they were required to do so much after school extra activities and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh no, I'm done. I just want an 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 job. I was like, I don't want to be members of all this other stuff and having to put in hours every night too, and then still worrying about everything else. That's why I asked. I was like, you know what? If I had to teach like anything under pre-algebra, I probably wouldn't care. But for me to re-get myself into like algebra, geometry, trig, or calc, man, that would take some backing up to do. And I despised English classes to a T, so that would be out. I was just never really a science person to where, playing with chemistry or biology. I think there was like environmental science and something else I had to take. Just didn't really, appeal to me. If I was going to teach, I'd like one. I would do a gym teacher, and if they said you had to, we'll hire you as a gym teacher, but you have to be like a coach of one of the teams, I'd probably take that. I mean, gym class. That'd be so much fun. I don't know how I made it through calculus, to be honest. I remember being in fifth grade, and they made us take this math test. And the only reason I made it into pre algebra into sixth grade was for the fact that I came out of a Catholic school and my math was way ahead. So I went into pre-algebra, and it was pretty easy to me, like Pythagorean's theorem and stuff like that. But I remember going into like seventh grade taking algebra. Then I think it was algebra two. Then I'd take geometry. And by the time I went into 10th grade and senior year in high school, and I had to take, I think it was trig I had to take it as a sophomore. I hated life. They're like, you need one more math class. And I'm like, can I take business math? They're like, no. And I'm like, oh, no. I had to take, it was called pre-calc. And that there, I'll never forget. I had to buy a calculator that cost $100, and this is in the '90s, early '90s. To have a calculator cost $100. If it doesn't have a dollar sign, it doesn't help you. Honestly, there was a math I had to take in college. All right, and if you ever see a math called finite mathematics, don't take it. Take any other math but finite. I took this and I read the description. I'm like, oh, this is going to be an easy math. It's a made up math that it makes no sense. It's like uh, extra big tic tac toe boards, and you put X's and O's in and figure out all these crazy made up formulas. Don't ever take finite math. I don't know how I end up with a B in that. That there was insane. That was probably the one class that I was pulling my hair out into because I was like, this makes no sense at all. And so, like, I was doing all online classes, so you had to really try to figure stuff out. So for the test, you never had to show your work because you're going online and pushing A, B, C, D for answers. Somehow I lucked out because the answer would be there, and I would try to work it like as far forward as I could go and try to guess. And usually you could eliminate at least one or two answers. And if you get down to a 50-50, you can pretty much figure it out. But that finite mathematics was horrible. Oh, yeah, if you ever hear that one, steer far, far away. And the thing was, they just started like the Blackboard thing back then. So, like, you would have emails coming from other people in the class like, do you understand this? I'm like, and there was like four of us that were from the area, and we used to go down and get one of those little private rooms at the library, and we couldn't figure the stuff out. And I'm sitting there going, I took pre-calc and I have no idea what this means. I mean, I'd rather do word problems. Heck, I'd rather do graphics again or graphs. I hated graphs. Oh, remember, there's a lot of graphs in geometry. Oh, here I thought I was just going to learn different triangles and circles and stuff like that. Yeah, no, that was the wrong thing at all. Although that teacher had life in geometry. He'd assign the homework, like go over how to do the problem, and then he'd say, "Here's your homework. You got about 15 minutes to start on it in class." And the next day, he'd be like, "All right, you go put number one on the board. You put number two on the board. And all you do, class, is that right?" I don't even think he knew the answers to this stuff, to be honest. Yeah, you don't ever want to take finite. Ugh. I think the choices were something like advanced algebra, finite mathematics, geometry, and there was something else. And I'm like, finite's probably the easiest the way it's sounding out of it all. Phew, never again. I mean, literally, I was having like 10 rows by 10 rows with X's and O's, and they all had to come out like these word problems too. And then, like I said, they had like these made up rules, and like, oh, you're sitting there like it had no real answer. So, like, where at math you always end up with like a number answer, this you never did. Even like if you were sitting there playing around with even into like trig and stuff like that, you still always would come up with something that would make sense with the real answer. This stuff here made no sense, none at all. I mean, I was fine for like to the midterm. After the midterm, that stuff started making less and less sense, and I would sit there, reread it. I would sit there on a Friday night, and after it'd be about 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I'm done. I'd go to the bar. And I'd even come home from the bar and look at it and be like, yeah, this still don't make sense. But I think that was the only class I really probably had true issues with the whole time in college. I mean, English ones and stuff like that, I was fine. Writing all those essays and stuff, fine. I took something similar to it. It was one of those classes that went into like, not accounting, there was another thing with it, not business management. It was another class that I had to take so many electives, and I took because I ended up taking micro and macroeconomics, and I took something that was statistical, and I can't remember what the name of the course was. It really wasn't that bad, but you had to be very thorough with your work because one little mess up and you're done. It throws your whole thing off. And see, I was smart because me and two other people started like going to the same classes together. So that way we would always compare notes and stuff onto it. And hopefully two out of three of us had the same answer. And then we would try to figure it out with a third person. Like, how did you get that? And we always played two-third rules. I didn't like it at all. Very painful. It was just not my cup of tea at all. I did it. I got A's, but it it, it took me a little bit with it. I would rather do accounting one and two again than take those. Ah, well, macro, I guess you could say, was more like I'm trying to think how I can really word this out. It's kind of like I guess you could say the bigger picture of like the economy, really. And I mean, you had to look at like relationships between like corporations, governments. I believe households was another one on there. And you're looking a lot at the markets, like the financial market, and then the labor market. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if you get through the first couple weeks and get the building of it down, it's not bad. But it's those people that don't pay attention that throw it off. And the thing I remember the teacher kept saying the whole time, and like his little videos and stuff, was it was like the decision making piece of the economy was macroeconomics. And once I kind of gathered all that there, because I remember there was I think that was the one where we had to do like the unemployment rates and like inflation, savings, even international trade. It was kind of crazy onto it, to be honest. And it usually takes me a minute to remember the difference between them because I don't use them at all. I just remember a project for microeconomics was showing like how a small business failed. It was kind of crazy with it all. But you're just remember your micro is more like going to go towards like individuals and like even like small little institutions to where macro is just huge overall. Kind of definition between micro and macro. Easy to remember micro. But yeah, I remember micro, man. We had to find a failed corporation, do this big project on it, and that was basically from midterm to final. That was like your whole time doing. Like I said, it's not bad long as you get the building of it down. Um, Micro to me was easier than macro. Macro had a lot more flow charts when you start looking at diagrams and stuff to really learn. I don't know. But then again, I took that like probably 12, 13 years ago. So I'm sure it's changed a lot. But overall, I mean, it wasn't like hideous like finite mathematics was to me. Probably the weirdest thing was I had to take chemistry online, and they had this weird program to do your lab on too, and it was like really weird work, especially the frog dissection online. It was just like really, really weird. I did chemistry. That was in like 2013, probably, maybe early 14. Geography was like probably the easiest class I ever took. All you had to do was every week a discussion board. It had to be something out of a news article pertaining to basically the continent that you were working with. And other than that, all you had to do, the test would be like a continent, and like you had to mark what country belonged to where. It was so easy. That was probably the easiest A I ever earned in my life. Honestly, I probably, if I would have thought about it now when I took the micro and macroeconomics, I could have took like classes like art and music and all this stuff. I don't know. I think I was better off with micro and macro though. I just took electives. Yeah, but see, mine was online, and I'm telling you, it was the most easiest class ever. Discussion board had to be like 300 words, and all you had to do was cite an online article, something going on, what was going on, your thoughts about it, and keep it clean type deal. And then you had your midterm and final, which was basically your test leading up to them, and it would just be this diagram of like a flat Earth type deal, and it would have like all the little countries scaled out, and you'd have number one. So you go down number one in the key, and it would have four choices. You picked which country it was. I mean, it was probably the easiest thing I ever did. Who would ever thought known me when I was a young kid, man, that I would have a master's degree now? Woo! They hand them things out to anybody. And I think what's funny is in my office, I think I'm the only person now with a master's degree. Just a pretty piece of paper on the wall. Looks good on job applications, about it. Well, I am going to log off here, buddy. Appreciate everybody stopping by. I didn't realize I've been sitting here chit chatting for so long. I got to get some extra work here done for the night. Get some pictures of cards up and stuff for the site, and throw a couple pieces more onto the old eBayer before they stop using PayPal as my processing method. But y'all need anything, just hit me up. I will be back Friday night after work. We'll have a long, probably unboxed. I don't know how much stuff I'll open up that night, but I'll at least have four different wax boxes. I think two. I'm going to get two Top Series 2 just to pull the Roberts rookie out of, and hopefully be able to grade her out at a 10. But other than that, take care, everybody. I'll catch y'all later on some of the streams. I think ABC's on tonight. If not, I'm wrong. It's Tuesday nights. I can't remember now. But I'll catch y'all later.